Welcome back guys to another video, and today we're going to talk about if Bitcoin actually hit the bottom price, because some people think that Bitcoin cannot go lower and some people are still hoping for $3,000 or $4,000 Bitcoin, but I don't think that this is actually going to happen. And in this video we're going to take a look at how much Bitcoin lost in previous crashes, and we're going to take a look every single crash from 2012, because you cannot see all of those crashes over here on CoinMarketCap, because CoinMarketCap can only show you prices from April of 2013. So a lot of people don't even have idea of how much Bitcoin was worth before that time, and how those crashes happened and how long they lasted. CoinMarketCap can only show you price from when Bitcoin was more than $100 over here, from something like $90 to $100, and you cannot see any single crash before that. And I'm going to show you every crash from when Bitcoin was more than $1, because I believe that those crashes when Bitcoin went from 5 cents to 1 cent don't really matter, and the only ones that do are these ones on this list. So the first crash, first major crash that Bitcoin had was from $7 to $3.80, and this was 49% correction, and it happened in 16 days. So it took 16 days from Bitcoin to go from $7 to $3.80. So this was pretty fast correction compared to what we have right now, because if you go over here to 1 year chart, you can see that those crashes take a lot longer right now, that we don't have 16 days, 10 days or 5 days for price to go down 50%. The next crash was from $16 to $7, 57% correction, and that happened in only 3 days. So in 3 days Bitcoin lost 57% of the value. So you can see how hardcore you had to be to hold the Bitcoin back then, because if you lost 50, 60, 70% of your value in only a few days, it took really strong mental strength for you to hold those Bitcoins. And it is not like now, when you can see your Bitcoin going down 1% or 2% every single day. It is a lot easier to hold right now with 1% less in your portfolio every day, than if you would just lose 20 or 30% in one single day. So the next two crashes were from $49 to $33 and from $76 to $50. And those two crashes happened in the same month, and you can see that Bitcoin lost over here 33% and over here 35% of the value. It corrected really fast over here in only like 2 weeks. It went to the new all-time high, and then it crashed back to $50, which is the all-time high that it crashed over here from to $33. And now let's take a look at next crash. Next crash was from $259, and that was on April 10th of 2013. And it lasted only until April 12th of 2013. So in only 3 days, Bitcoin lost 83% of the value, which was the biggest crash until that time, and it was the fastest crash that Bitcoin had for more than like 80% of the value. So in only 3 days, you lost 83% of the value. And right now, Bitcoin was at the most down in the last 2 years, 75% of the value. That was when Bitcoin went from $20,000 over here in December all the way down to $5,000 that we had over here, somewhere over here. It was like 5,800. I can't really find it. And that took like 6 months to do. So now it takes us 6 months for Bitcoin price to go down 75%, and back in the time, well, it wasn't so long ago, it was only 5 years ago, Bitcoin was in 3 days down 83%. So when people say Bitcoin flash crashed to maybe like 20-30%, that is nothing compared to what was happening before and how volatile Bitcoin was before this time. The next crash was in November, and you can see that this lasted only 1 day. Bitcoin went from $755 to $378, so 50% loss in only one single day. So this was the biggest correction in 1 day that we ever had, which was 50%. So just imagine buying Bitcoin over here at $755, going to sleep, waking up, and seeing that you lost 50% of the value that you had. And now we're getting to a little bit closer crashes. Over here you can see this is in November 2013, and it lasted until 14th of January of 2015. And this time Bitcoin lost 87%, and this actually lasted for 411 days correction. So this was the longest correction. These were the dark times of Bitcoin when nobody was sure where Bitcoin is actually going and if there is going to be anything from Bitcoin, because a lot of people lost hope. Just imagine, well, you don't have to imagine, you're now holding for 6 months and at that time you had to hold for 411 days. So just hold for 6 more months, and if nothing happens, then you are one of the longest holders that ever had to hold Bitcoin, because if you're holding for more than 411 days without making a profit, nobody was holding longer than you did, so you should be proud of that. The next crashes were a little bit smaller. They were between 34 and 39% over here, and this is where a lot of people started joining cryptocurrencies. It was in 2017, over here in March, May, and June and July, when Bitcoin started losing some kind of percentages, but all of that corrected really fast. You can see over here it went from 1300 to 900, then from 27 to 18, and then from 29 to $1,800. And those crashes over here are the most what are the crashes where the biggest amount of people joined. Over here it was really insane to see how many people were joining, how many people decided to invest in cryptocurrencies, even though they didn't even know what the word blockchain means, even what Bitcoin is or how Bitcoin works. They just thought that they are going to get rich quick, and they have seen people getting rich in the past few months because price was skyrocketing. It went hundreds of percentages up already, and they just thought, well, if I put $1,000 in, just as people did over here when Bitcoin was like $10, that they could make fortune. But of course they still can make fortune if they hold for long enough, but they got ahead of themselves, and over here you can see they lost 40%, 30%, and this is the crash that is happening right now when Bitcoin lost 70% of the value. And that was until February of 2018, and we still didn't recover mostly from that crash. We are now at $7,700, as you can see. So we got some value back from 5,900, but we still have long way back to the $20,000, which I think is going to happen in December of 2018. We're going to be at about $20,000 or $30,000, or at least I hope so. So we're going to see if this crash is going to be the longest crash, and for that it should last for longer than 411 days, or if it's just going to continue going up and up until it reaches $20,000 in the next few months. So thank you guys for watching this video. Now take a closer look at this list over here. You have 12 biggest crashes that Bitcoin had, and just write down the number for how many crashes you actually held in Bitcoin. If you only held it over here from $19,000 to $5,000, then just write 1, and if you held it maybe from over here from $1,350 all the way until today, then just write 6. So let's see over here who had the most courage to hold Bitcoin through all of those crashes. See you soon in another video, and bye.